Howdy. Today I'm going to discuss the GPS coordinates, how that will be able to handle or enhance your LDAR program, SkyBridge. We call it Premium Mapping, and it uses GPS coordinates to help the technicians find the component, and that way they can limit time looking for something that's maybe right there beside them. So again, just want to help you to use this feature that you have. It's not, of course, it's not a regulatory requirement, but you can use it to help you to find components out in the field and also to manage the technicians. Okay, so let's discuss that a little bit. All about mapping, GPS. Okay, GPS global positioning system. There's about 30 something satellites. This is an older form here, but there's about 30 something satellites up in space there, and that will help you to track, identify where those components are using the GPS coordinates that can be captured while the technician is out monitoring in the field. And just a couple of little stats here. U.S. spends over $1 billion for us to use the GPS, and it says GPS enabled smartphones. You know how accurate they are typically accurate within the 4.9 meter. Now this is, like I said, a little older, so this has been updated to like 5 feet. And if you notice here, the satellites, the user range error, user accuracy here. So, and just think about this when you're out, maybe I always use the analogy at Disney. You're walking around looking for a specific ride, or you're out at an open mall where stores are located. You can go ahead and put in the store, and it will get you pretty close to the front door of that facility, right? So again, pretty accurate nowadays, the GPS. And again, you can use this to find components out in the field, and I'll show you that here. Okay, so you know as well as I do, there's a lot of equipment out there. So we want to be able to find that equipment with the location description, also with the GPS coordinates, and of course, if you had drawings in your handheld, that will help out as well. Okay, so in SkyBridge, we call it SkyBridge Premium Mapping, and just make sure this is turned on your copy of SkyBridge. Okay, so make sure this is Premium Mapping is yes, and then you'll be able to use all the features that are in SkyBridge. Okay, so here we go. So the GPS coordinate field. So in SkyBridge, when you open up an individual component, you'll see the latitude, longitude, and the altitude here. Okay, so you'll see that information here. You can populate it if it's blank initially. When the technicians log a reading on that component, it will capture the current GPS coordinates. Okay. If it has something in there, then it won't do anything. But I'm gonna show you how you can update that, just in case you get maybe a message in quarantine saying you're so many meters away from the last time that you monitored that component. But this is where the information you can put in the information manually. But why do that when you can have Sky Mobile capture those GPS coordinates using your handheld device? So this is kind of what happens when you look at, when you go like under components and you select a group of components, you right click on those components and you map selected as points. This is kind of what comes up and shows you, and these are the different categories. Normal is the blue, out of service is the green, red is the open leakers. I don't have it on here, but the delay of repair is yellow. So you can actually see color coded over your facility, where all your leakers are, where all your DORs are, things like that. So that's pretty helpful. Now, when you click on it, you can actually go to the tag number itself, or you can open up the work requests. Okay. This is another feature, map inspection path in quarantine. So when you open up a quarantine, it kind of looks like this. You click the test button, and then you hit retrieve in quarantine. And then what you want to do here, if you want to look at this now, I'm going to explain what you're looking at here. each blue dot represents an inspection point, right? So the technician monitored each one of these blue dots, piece of equipment. You can actually hit play once you pull that up, and that little arrow will actually move and show you the direction that the technician monitored. Okay, so you can use this for managing the workflow of that individual. You can give them maybe some tips on maybe starting at a different end. So again, this is a tool that you can use. You can put it on walking speed and just see where they went out in the plant. And to do that, again, you would just go and click on Maps Inspection Path. And it's going to ask you what technician that you want to map. And then you pick the technician name, hit play, and it'll show you where that technician. This only happens in quarantine before you process it through. So if you see them doing something kind of off, then you can actually delete the information if that's the case. Okay, if you find some discrepancies there. Okay. All right. And again, this is the couple things that you can do in quarantine. While it's still in quarantine, you can map inspections path. That I just showed you that. If you don't have premium mapping, you can generate a KML file, and that will just show you where all the inspections took place. You don't have the little play button, but it'll show you where all the inspections had taken place. And it will actually open up Google Earth Pro. Okay, so you have to have another app to open that up. This one opens up in the current browser with SkyBridge. Okay. And I'll just show you that here. Let me hit the play button here. This is open leaks here. So there's the open leaks in red. Again, you click on the component itself to open it up, or you click on the work request to open that work request to see more information. I really like this too. Again, you can right click on the component under, I'll show you where that's located, but that's on when you open up SkyBridge over to the left, there's a location symbol there beside work requests and DOR, delay or repair. This is the open leaks in red. This is delay or repair in yellow. Okay. So again, color coded. This is just an example of DOR, delay or repair. You can open up the work request and it should say DOR, show you the signature list and all that good stuff. Okay. This is out of service. Okay. And again, this is clicking on the, this is in components, and I highlight all the components and right click, map as selected, and it'll show me the out of service components. If I would have just filtered for the out of service components, if I filter for out of service and normal components, it'll show me that in blue, the regular components. Okay. And again, you can click on those little location pins and it'll open up the information, just like I just did there. Open up one, and now it's showing that it's out of service. Okay. Some pretty cool stuff there here. Now, one thing I mentioned earlier that if you go and monitor a component and it has GPS coordinates already present, then again, it will not overwrite that, even if it's out or off. Say you had a hard time finding that component using GPS, but you finally found it. You can go ahead and log the reading, But rather than leaving those bad coordinates in there, when you get the information back into quarantine, you can right click and force component GPS from quarantine. What it's actually doing is capturing the, you don't see it in the front end, but what it's doing every time you go out and monitor, it's going to leave the coordinates there, but it also captures new coordinates. And if you want to use those, you can. If not, it just deletes those out. But again, I know some individuals, what they do, make it part of their standard operating procedure is, to have the technician go out the next time they monitor, accurate as possible. Just make sure they, find the component, be on that component when they monitor it, and then when they come back, force component GPS from quarantine for the first quarter, maybe a quarter worth of work. But if you got good GPS numbers, no need to do that. But if you're someone where you always see this message here, so many meters away from the last time you monitored it, that means that the GPS coordinates are not correct. Okay, so you want to update that using this tool. This tool not only is in quarantine under test, but it's also under inspection history. So you got two ways. If you miss and process it through and it gets into inspection history, you still got a chance to do the same thing in inspection history. Okay, this is just a KML file that we did earlier to use GPS with Google Earth Pro. It's just giving you the KML file, what it means, the definition of it. Okay. And this is the Google Earth Pro. It's a free app. You can download to your computer and use it if you need to. If you got premium mapping, you don't need it. But of course, it's free and you can double check your numbers if you want to. This is the handheld portion of it. So again, you want to make sure that your location, and this is the settings in Android setting, not Sky Mobile settings, but Android settings. Just make sure the location is turned on here, and it'll be able to capture those GPS coordinates. Okay. This is kind of what it looks like in the handheld when you're looking for a component. It's on the single mode. You got the grid mode, and then you have single mode to monitor. You can test. But this is, once you start walking, a little arrow will pop up and let you know which way you need to start walking toward. There's the compass there. You can you can zoom in and out here if you need to. But again, that's going to enhance your LDAR program, especially for finding components here. If you don't know where you are out in the unit, you can always click. This is on the single mode. This is on the grid. There's a little map at the top. If you click on that, it'll just show you where you are in the plant site. All right, so just real-time GPS, show you where you are in the plant site. This is a little free app that I use. You don't have to do this every day, but what this does is actually a compass. It's called GPS status. It's going to show you GPS coordinates here, but it also shows you how many satellites are fixed on you. So say you go out and monitor with this 17 out of 22, you're going to get some good GPS numbers. And that's where that update or force GPS number update in quarantine and in inspection history come in place, because the technicians got some good numbers. And again, they can just open this up before they go out in the field, just take a look at it and then close it back out. Okay. Problem there. Okay. So let me just show you what I was talking about in SkyBridge. This is the little location information load map. You see that load map. So this is under work request, repair delay, repair temp due, and ready for retest and quarantine too. It'll show you where those components are located when you click on these little location pins. The other I mentioned earlier too, under quarantine, if you go here and you got some good numbers, you looked at your GPS status and had some good numbers, you can always come over here, select all, right click, and force component GPS from quarantine. Okay, hit yes. And what it's doing now is using the current GPS numbers. Let me just reset this grid here. Okay, so that message went away about so many meters away because it's using the current GPS numbers. Okay. So again, I can, this is where I mentioned earlier, map inspection path. click on that, pick the technician that you want to map, and then map path out. Okay. Now I don't have a good view of that, but again, you just hit the play button here, and it's gonna move around and show you where that person went. Okay. Try that out. Pick the technician. Also with the GPS coordinate, if I right click on here and then do the map selected as points, it's just going to show you a stationary picture where everything's located out in the field. Okay. If they have GPS coordinates there, right? You can actually click on it and look at the information on here. Right? And that's in quarantine. Map selected as points. Excuse me, map inspection path. And then you saw this earlier, generate KML file. Okay. That's in quarantine. Now under components, when you have to do your GPS, if I go under components here, and let me just go to my last filter, and you got a couple of things you can do here too under the GPS status here. I think it's just map selected as points. I think it is. Yeah. So select all, right click, map selected as points. That's all you can do here, just to show you where those components. You can do multiple components, or you can do one component, just to find out. Somebody give you a tag number, you want to find out where that tag number is located, just highlight it, right click, and map selected as points. Okay. You'll see where it's located. Another place is under inspection history, and I mentioned this earlier, where you want to, if you miss out on if you miss the back to the beginning of the year, if you miss doing the updating the GPS coordinates in quarantine, you got another opportunity here to do that. Okay, so here's a select all, go right click, update components from GPS readings here. Okay. You also have map selected as points, showing you where those components are out in the field. Okay. Let me see here. Like I said, I don't have a good example here, but if I right click, update component GPS coordinates, next time the technicians go out there, to be more accurate finding that component using GPS. So it's just updating those GPS numbers now. Okay. And it's 1,769 components. But again, this is going to enhance your LDAR program tremendously using your GPS coordinate. Not only to find the component, like I mentioned earlier, but also to help you to manage the technicians better too. Okay. Hopefully this helped out. Got any questions? Click this little question marker here and send that to support, and we'll be able to help you out. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.